The Galactic Council chamber had never been this tense. The room floated in deep space. Shaped like a wide circle, thousands of stars burned outside its transparent walls. Each seat in the chamber belonged to a powerful species, some old, some feared, some barely holding their empires together. At the center of the room, a massive star map hovered in the air. One system glowed brighter than the rest, a small yellow star, a blue planet, Earth. Admiral Xeric stood before the map with his hands behind his back. His tall armored body reflected the cold light of the chamber. His eyes showed confidence, too much confidence. This, Xeric said loudly, pointing at the blue planet, is nothing. Murmurs spread across the council. Earth, one counselor asked carefully. The records say, old lies, Xeric interrupted. His voice was sharp and proud. Stories told to scare young officers. The star map shifted. Ancient files appeared beside the planet. Most of them were marked corrupted or deleted. The so-called humans, Xeric continued, were wiped out long ago. Their species does not exist anymore. Some council members shifted in their seats. Others looked uneasy. A small insect-like counselor raised a thin limb. Admiral, there are gaps in the data. Entire centuries missing. Xeric laughed. Because there was nothing worth saving, he said. No ships, no colonies, no signals. The word signals echoed in the chamber. A young sensor officer stood up slowly. He looked nervous. Sir, there are still radio waves coming from Earth. Xeric turned, annoyed. Old echoes, he said. Radio waves can travel for thousands of years. It proves nothing. But sir, the officer continued, the signals are repeating. Silence fell. Repeating signals meant one thing. Active systems. Xeric waved a hand. Automatic machines. Broken satellites. Leftovers of a dead species. The council hesitated. Earth had no fleets, no trade routes, no alliances. And yet something felt wrong. Xeric stepped forward. I will end this debate, he said. Earth is uninhabited. I will prove it. The invasion vote passed within minutes. The galaxy had decided. The invasion fleet was massive. Thousands of warships moved through hyperspace like a dark storm. Admiral Xeric's flagship, the Final Dominion, led the charge. From the bridge, Xeric watched the stars stretch and bend as they traveled faster than light. Target system, reached in 3 cycles, an officer announced. Xeric smiled. Another easy conquest, another victory to add to his name. Earth was just another empty rock, or so he believed. As the fleet exited hyperspace, the yellow star appeared ahead. Earth came into view. Blue, green, alive, but quiet, too quiet. No defense ships detected. A sensor officer reported. No energy shields. Another added. Xeric nodded. As expected. Then, a third officer spoke, his voice uncertain. Sir, we are detecting orbital objects. Xeric raised an eyebrow. Define. Objects. Satellites, the officer said. Thousands of them. Xeric frowned. Status? They appear inactive. Relief spread across the bridge. Dead machines. Old junk. Xeric turned toward the fleet command channel. All units, prepare for planetary approach. This system is clear. The fleet moved closer. That was when the first warning appeared. A single satellite changed its orbit. Then another. Then hundreds. Lights flickered across the dark side of Earth. The bridge fell silent. Sir, a sensor officer whispered. Those satellites are powering up. Xeric's smile faded for the first time. That's not possible, he said slowly. A low signal pulsed across the fleet. It was old. Very old. The language was strange, harsh, short. No translation appeared. Run analysis, Xeric ordered. The AI paused longer than normal. Then it spoke. Language identified. Human. Xeric's claws tightened. That species does not exist, he said. Before anyone could answer, the signal repeated stronger this time. Across Earth's surface, hidden doors began to open. Deep under oceans, massive shapes moved. Buried cities woke from sleep. And far above the planet, ancient human defense grids thought to be mid-scheme online. Red targeting lines locked onto alien ships. Alarms screamed across the fleet. Sir, an officer shouted. Weapons systems are tracking us. Xeric stared at the planet. Earth was no longer silent. It was watching. Defensive maneuver, Xeric commanded. This is some kind of automated trap. But even as he spoke, something strange happened. The human systems did not fire. They waited, like hunters. The young sensor officer swallowed hard. Sir, I don't think these are machines. Xeric turned slowly. Explain. They're reacting, the officer said. Adapting. Learning. A chill ran through the bridge. Xeric looked back at Earth. For the first time in his long career, doubt entered his mind. Still, pride pushed it away. Prepare invasion forces, he said coldly. Whatever this is, we crush it. He paused, then added quietly, humans don't exist. Below him, Earth's defenses locked into final position. The war had already begun. The alien fleet froze in space. Thousands of warships hovered above Earth, their weapons charged, their shields glowing. But no one fired. No one moved. Every sensor on every ship was screaming warnings. Earth was changing. Admiral Zurich stood on the bridge of the final Dominion, staring at the blue planet below. The calm surface he had mocked moments ago now felt like a lie. Report, he said, his voice hard. Human defense grid is fully active. An officer replied. We are being tracked by unknown systems. Zurich narrowed his eyes. Unknown? Yes, sir. These weapons do not match any known galactic design. Across the fleet, red targeting lights blinked on. Alien crews felt it, an invisible pressure, like being watched by something far older than expected. Still, no attack came. The human systems waited. That silence was worse than gunfire. Deep beneath Earth's surface, ancient doors opened. They had not moved in centuries. Massive underground bunkers, unlocked one by one. Thick metal plates slid aside. Old lights flickered, then burned bright again. Inside those bunkers, humans woke up, not from sleep, but from waiting. Generals, engineers, soldiers, scientists, all calm, all ready. Screens lit up with space maps. Alien ships filled the display like insects around a flame. A human commander spoke quietly. They came sooner than expected. No one panicked. This moment had been planned for generations. Back in orbit, Zurich tried to regain control. All fleets, he ordered, begin planetary scans. I want confirmation of living targets. Scanning beams swept across Earth, forests, oceans, cities, empty cities. That proves it, Zurich said quickly. No active population detected. But his words lacked confidence. A sensor officer hesitated. Sir, the scans are being blocked. Blocked? Zurich snapped. Yes, something is bending the signals, hiding heat, hiding movement. Zurich slammed his claw onto the command console. Nothing can hide from a full invasion fleet. At that moment, Earth sent another signal, clearer, stronger. This time, the AI translated it. Defense protocol. Active human command authority. Online the bridge went silent. Human command and officer. Whispered. Zurich felt a cold weight in his chest. That is impossible, he said again. They were erased. But the truth was unfolding in front of him. The first human ships rose from Earth. They did not launch from space docks. They came from the oceans. Entire sections of the sea opened as massive metal structures broke the surface. Water exploded into the air as dark, armored vessels climbed toward the sky. They were not beautiful, they were strong. Their design was simple, heavy, brutal. They look primitive, an officer said. Zurich watched closely. No, he said slowly. They look built for war. The human ships did not rush. They took positions. Perfect angles. Perfect spacing. As if this battle had already been fought in simulations long ago. Zurich gave the order. Fire a warning. Hot. One alien cruiser launched a single energy blast toward empty space near a human ship. The blast never reached its target. It vanished. Sir, an officer shouted. The energy was absorbed. The human ship did not move. Then it responded. A single projectile launched. It was solid metal. No plasma, no light, just speed. The projectile tore through the alien cruiser's shields like paper. The ship split in half. Explosion after explosion lit space. Shock spread across the fleet. That was one shot. Someone whispered. Zurich felt his confidence cracking. All ships, return fire, he roared. Alien weapons lit the darkness. Lasers, plasma, missiles. Earth's defense grid finally answered. Human satellites moved with terrifying precision. Ancient rail cannons fired from orbit. Hidden weapons from the moon activated. Alien ships began to fall, not in chaos, in patterns. The humans were not just fighting. They were controlling the battle inside a human command bunker. Screens showed the enemy fleet shrinking. A young officer spoke. Enemy Admiral identified. Zurich. The commander nodded. The one who said we don't exist. A faint smile touched his face. Let him keep believing that, he said. For now. Zurich watched ship after ship disappear from his display. This was no defense. This was a lesson. Why didn't they attack earlier? He muttered. A science officer answered quietly. Sir, it appears Earth's systems only activate when a full invasion force enters orbit. Zurich. Understood. Humans had not built defenses to scare enemies. They built them to end wars. In one strike. The human fleet pushed forward, not fast, unstoppable. Alien formations broke apart. Communication lines failed. Targeting systems glitched. Zirak's flagship shook as a nearby cruiser exploded. "Admiral!" an officer shouted. "We are losing orbital control." Zirak clenched his fists. "How?" he whispered. "How did we miss this?" The answer was clear now. Earth was never silent. It was hidden. Humans erased themselves from the galaxy's memory. They let others forget. Let records rot. Let myths replace truth. They waited. Because humans did not fear invasion, they prepared for it. Zirak stared at the planet below. For the first time, fear replaced pride. "This is not a dead world," he said. "This is a trap." Above Earth, human ships closed in. The real war had just begun. Space around Earth turned into chaos. Broken alien ships drifted in silence. Fire and metal spun slowly through the dark. Human vessels moved between the wreckage like calm predators. They did not rush. They did not celebrate. They advanced with purpose. Admiral Zirak stood rigid on the bridge of the final Dominion. His once perfect battle formation was gone. What remained was a shattered fleet trying to survive. "Stabilize positions," he shouted. "Regroup around the flagship." But his orders reached only half the ships. Human interference flooded every channel. Old human codes, no patterns, no rhythm. The alien systems could not adapt fast enough. Above Earth, the human fleet changed formation. Ships split into small groups. Each group moved independently. No central command signal could be detected. Zirak noticed it too late. "They are not using a command chain," he growled. "Each unit decides for itself." A science officer nodded slowly. "Sir, they fight like a species used to losing leaders." That thought hit Zirak hard. Only a species that survived countless disasters would fight this way. The humans attacked again. This time, they did not aim at ships. They aimed at systems. Alien engines shut down mid-flight. Shields flickered. Navigation failed. Some ships crashed into each other. Others drifted helplessly as human boarding pods slammed into their hulls. Zirak watched in disbelief as alien marines were defeated by small human teams. Humans did not wear heavy armor. They moved fast. They communicated with hand signals. They used the environment. One human team lured aliens into narrow corridors, then sealed both ends. Another cut gravity, turning trained soldiers into floating targets. "This is not brute force," Zirak whispered. "This is experience." On Earth, the battlefield expanded. Alien landing craft forced their way through the defense grid and reached the surface. They aimed for the abandoned cities, empty streets, silent buildings. No resistance, too easy. Then the ground moved. Roads collapsed. Buildings folded inward. Entire districts turned into controlled traps. Human-made cities were not just shelters. They were weapons. Alien troops were cut off, surrounded. Confused, hidden doors opened in walls. Human fighters emerged, striking fast, then disappearing again. Every step forward cost the invaders 10 ships, 100 soldiers. Inside a human command center, large screens tracked every enemy movement. Human commanders spoke calmly. "Phase 3 complete," one said. "Activate terrain denial." Another ordered. Across the planet, systems responded instantly. The humans had connected Earth itself to the battle network. Mountains hid missile silos. Forests masked energy drains. Oceans swallowed alien machines whole. Zirak finally understood. Humans did not defend planets. They turned planets into soldiers. Back in space, the alien fleet tried to retreat. "Open hyperspace lanes," Zirak commanded. An officer's voice shook. "We can't, sir. Human gravity fields are locking us in." Zirak slammed his claw against the console. "Break them." But the human ships were already there. They blocked escape routes with cold precision. One human ship transmitted a message, short and clear. "You entered our system. You do not leave without permission." Zirak felt something he had not felt in decades. Helplessness. The humans changed tactics again. They stopped firing. Instead, they surrounded damaged alien ships and forced them to surrender. Escape pods were allowed to leave. Medical aid was provided. This confused the alien crews more than violence. "They are saving us," an officer whispered. Zirak stared at the screen. "Why?" he asked quietly. A science officer answered. "Sir, they are studying us." The realization was terrifying. Humans were not fighting to win. They were fighting to learn. On Earth's surface, the remaining alien troops were trapped. Human forces offered surrender terms. Some accepted. Others resisted and were crushed quickly. Every battle ended the same way. Humans adapted faster, learned faster, won faster. Zirak's fleet numbers dropped rapidly. What had been thousands of ships was now hundreds, then dozens. Zirak activated a private channel. "Send a message to the Galactic Council," he said. "What should we say?" Sir, an officer asked. Zirk paused. His pride was gone, his confidence broken. Tell them, he said slowly, that Earth is not empty. The transmission failed. Human jamming blocked it instantly. Zirk laughed bitterly. They don't want witnesses, he murmured. A final report arrived. Sir, the AI said. Human probability models predict total alien defeat. Within 3 cycles. Zirk closed his eyes. He remembered his words. Humans don't exist. Now they were everywhere. On his screens, on his ships, in his mind. Earth's orbit was no longer a battlefield. It was a controlled space, owned. Zirk looked at the blue planet one last time. We did not invade prey, he whispered. We invaded survivors. Human ships tightened the net, and the galaxy was about to learn what humans do when cornered. Admiral Zirk sat alone on the bridge of the final Dominion. The great ship was no longer great. Half its systems were offline. The once proud command deck was dark, lit only by emergency lights. Outside the main window, human ships floated in silent formation. They did not fire. They did not move. They waited. Zirk felt like prey in a cage. Damage report, he said quietly. An officer answered, voice low. 70% fleet loss confirmed. Communications fully blocked. Escape impossible. Zirk closed his eyes. For the first time in his life, there was no command left to give. A human signal broke through, not an attack. A request, alien. Admiral Zirk, you are ordered to stand down. Prepare for boarding. Zirk laughed softly. Ordered, he repeated, by a species that does not exist. But his voice held no strength. He gave a slow nod. Stand down weapons, he said. The bridge crew froze. But sir, we lost. Zirk said, do not make it worse. Human boarding teams arrived minutes later. They did not storm the ship. They walked, calm, focused, controlled. Zirk watched them closely. Their armor was scratched and old. Their weapons simple but deadly. Their eyes sharp. These were not conquerors. They were survivors. A human commander stepped forward. I am Commander Elias Ward, he said. You are Zirk. Zirk lifted his head. I am. You claimed humans do not exist, Ward said. Zirk did not answer. Zirk was escorted into a secured chamber. No chains, no pain, no threats. That scared him more than torture. Ward stood across from him, hands behind his back. Why did you erase us from your records? Zirk asked suddenly. Ward tilted his head. We didn't. Zirk frowned. Then who did? Ward turned to a screen. Old galactic files appeared. Ancient war reports. Lost civilizations. Entire star systems burned into dust. Your galaxy erased us, Ward said. Because you were afraid. Zirk stared. These files, they're classified beyond council access. Ward nodded. We know. Ward played a recording. It showed an ancient war. Not humans versus aliens. Everyone versus something else. A shadow species. Massive. Endless. Devouring stars. Galactic empires fell one by one. Only one species adapted fast enough. Humans. They fought in ways no one else could, Ward said. Decentralized. Ruthless. Creative. Zirk watched humans turn. Planets into traps. Fleets into bait. Retreats into ambushes. They won? Zirk whispered. Ward shook his head. No, we survived. The recording showed humans making a choice. They erased themselves. Burned records. Destroyed colonies. Went silent. They knew the galaxy would fear them after the war, Ward said. So we disappeared. Zirk felt sick. You let us believe you were extinct. Yes, Ward replied. Because fear leads to war. Zirk laughed bitterly. And yet here we are. Ward's eyes hardened. You came anyway, he said. You ignored the warnings. You mocked the silence. Zirk lowered his head. We thought silence meant weakness, he admitted. Ward leaned closer. For humans, he said, silence means preparation. Another screen activated. It showed Earth over centuries. Human cities moving underground. Technology growing slower on purpose. Weapons hidden, not shown. We never chased power, Ward said. We chased readiness. Zirk clenched his claws. You could have ruled the galaxy. Ward nodded. Yes. Then why didn't you? Ward answered without hesitation. Because ruling makes you visible. The truth hit Zirk like a blade. Humans had not fallen behind. They stepped aside. Let others rise. Let others grow careless. A new report appeared on the screen. Human projections. Galactic reactions. Council panic. They will fear us now, Zirk said. Ward sighed. They already did. That's why they erased us. Zirk looked up. What will you do? He asked. Ward met his eyes. We will remind them, he said, gently. If possible, outside the chamber. Human ships repositioned. Not toward attack. Toward control. Ward turned to leave. One more thing, Xeric said. Ward paused. Xeric swallowed his pride. I was wrong, he said. Humans exist. Ward looked back. Yes, he replied. And we always did. Alarms echoed faintly through the ship. Human forces were securing the last alien vessels. The war was ending, but the consequences were just beginning. Xeric sat alone again, mind shattered by truth. The galaxy had erased humans once. It would never make that mistake again, because now humans were awake, and the galaxy was watching. The war was over, but no one celebrated. Above Earth, space was quiet again. Wreckage drifted slowly. Human ships held position, silent and steady, like guards at a sealed door. Inside the final Dominion, Admiral Xeric stood near the observation window. His fleet was gone, not destroyed in rage, not wiped out in chaos, ended with control. That truth hurt more than defeat. Human commanders moved through the alien flagship, securing systems and escorting survivors. No shouting, no cruelty, only order. Xeric watched them closely. They treated prisoners with care. Wounded aliens received medical aid. Escape pods were allowed to launch. This is not how conquerors act, Xeric whispered. A human officer overheard him. We're not conquerors, the officer said calmly. We're cleaners. Xeric turned slowly. Cleaners? The officer nodded. We remove threats, then we stop. That sentence echoed in Xeric's mind. A signal request arrived from the Galactic Council. For the first time since the invasion began, human systems allowed it through. A massive hologram filled the chamber. Council members appeared terrified, shocked, desperate. They stared at Xeric. Admiral. One counselor said, voice shaking, report immediately. Xeric laughed softly. Report? He asked. There is nothing left to report. Explain what happened, another shouted. What are these? Humans. Xeric looked away from the council and toward Earth. Blue, calm, untouched. What happened, he said slowly, is that we invaded a species that learned how to disappear. Silence followed. They were never gone. Xeric continued. They were watching us forget. The council demanded answers. How did we miss them? Why were the records erased? Why did no one warn us? Xeric felt anger rise. You were warned, he said sharply. By silence, by missing data, by fear you chose to ignore. A counselor whispered, are they gods? Xeric shook his head. No, he said. They are worse. The council froze. They are patient. The transmission ended. Human command had allowed enough. Moments later, Commander Elias Ward entered the chamber. It's time, Ward said. Xeric nodded. He already knew. Execution? Xeric asked. Ward shook his head. No. Xeric frowned. You will live. Ward continued. And so will many of your people. Why? Xeric asked bitterly. So we can fear you? Ward looked him straight in the eyes. So you can remember, he said. Xeric was escorted to an evacuation platform. Human ships moved aside, opening a single path. One path only. This corridor will stay open for 10 minutes, Ward said. Anyone who takes it lives. And if we attack? Xeric asked. Ward's answer was calm. Then Earth will no longer be gentle. Xeric believed him. As Xeric prepared to leave, a final request came through. The Galactic Council wanted one last statement. A record, history. Demanded it. Xeric stood before the recording device. His posture was straight, his voice steady. I am Admiral Xeric of the 7th Dominion Fleet. He began. Pause. We invaded a world we believed was empty. Another pause. We were wrong. The chamber felt heavy. Humans do exist, Xeric said. His claws trembled slightly. And they are not the monsters we feared. He looked directly into the lens. They are something far more dangerous. What? A council voice asked. Xeric swallowed. They are prepared. The signal ended. Xeric turned away. Behind him, the human fleet remained silent, watching, waiting. Xeric's evacuation ship pulled away from Earth's orbit. As distance grew, he saw the full picture. Human ships returned underground. Satellites powered down. Defense grids faded. Earth was hiding again. Like nothing had happened. Like this war was just another test. Xeric felt small. A young alien officer approached him. Sir, the officer asked quietly. What should the galaxy do now? Xeric closed his eyes. Pray, he said, that humans stay quiet. Far above Earth, Commander Ward watched the last alien ship disappear. Status, he asked. Threat removed, an officer replied. Ward nodded. Begin phase silence, he ordered. Across the planet, systems shut down. Earth vanished from galactic sensors. Again, Xeric's final words echoed across history. Humans don't exist. But now the galaxy knew the truth. They existed. They remembered. And if the galaxy forgot again, humans would remind them. The galaxy did not sleep after the invasion. It watched across thousands of star systems. Emergency meetings were called. Ancient empires that had not spoken in centuries activated their fleets. Traders stopped flying near Earth's sector. Maps were updated. One system was marked differently. Not hostile, not friendly. Unknown Earth. The Galactic Council chamber was full again. But the fear this time was real. Screens replayed fragments of the invasion. Alien ships falling in perfect order. Human weapons firing once, then stopping. Silence after victory. They could have destroyed everything, a counselor whispered. But they didn't, another replied. That made it worse. Admiral Zurich stood before the council once more. He was alive. That alone shocked them. You were spared, a council elder said. Why? Zurich did not hesitate. Because humans don't need revenge, he said. They need distance. The room went quiet. They let us leave. Zurich continued, not because they are kind, but because they are confident. Confident in what? Someone asked. Zurich looked at the star map. Confident that if we return, we will lose again. Reports flooded in. Human signals appeared near distant systems, then vanished. Ancient satellites woke up near old human colonies that no one remembered. Humanity was not expanding, it was reconnecting. They were reminding the galaxy of something it tried to erase. On Earth, life returned to normal. Cities reopened, oceans closed their metal doors. Soldiers returned to families. Children went to school. But beneath the calm, preparation continued. Human commanders met in quiet rooms. We revealed too much, one officer said. We revealed only what was necessary. Commander Ward replied. A screen showed galactic reactions, fear, debate, hesitation. They will not attack again, Ward said. Not soon. And if they do, someone asked. Ward answered simply. Then we won't stop at defense. The first alien embassy arrived at Earth. Unarmed, alone. A single ship crossed the boundary humans had drawn. Human defense systems watched, but did not fire. The ship landed on neutral ground. Aliens stepped out slowly, nervous, afraid. Human representatives greeted them. No weapons, no threats, just words. The galaxy watched. Humans spoke first. We do not seek rule. We do not seek war. We seek space. The message was clear. Stay away. Over time, new rules formed. No fleets near Earth. No scans of human space. No lies in galactic records. The Council signed the Silence Accord. Earth was listed again. Not as extinct. Not as enemy. But as untouchable. Zurich retired soon after. He lived quietly on a distant world. But his name never faded. Young officers studied his failure and his warning. One day, a student asked him, Sir, are humans dangerous? Zurich thought for a long time. Yes, he said. How? The student asked. Zurich looked at the stars. They survive, he said. No matter what. Years passed. The galaxy changed. Wars slowed. Empires became careful. Silence was respected. And in that silence, humans watched. They built. They prepared. They waited. Not for conquest. For memory. Deep in human space, an ancient beacon activated. A message not meant for aliens, but for humans. If you hear this, the galaxy has forgotten again. Commander Ward stood before the screen. It always does, he said quietly. He turned away. Earth remained quiet. But now the galaxy knew what quiet meant, because humans did not vanish. They endured, and endurance was their greatest weapon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another journey into the unknown. See you next time.